In this section, we are going to answer Basic Certificate Examination 2023 Social Studies. Now, the subject is National Values Education. But under you want to answer the part 2, which is Social Studies. So pay attention and you see how we explain the answers to you. This first question says, Social studies is defined as a study of my relation to his dash environment. The question tests your knowledge on the types of environment and the definition of social studies. Now, if you remember the types of environment we don't have cultural and traditional, rather it's under the social environment. We don't have moral and spiritual environment. Moral environment can be likened to the social environment. We don't deal with spirituality in social studies. C says physical and occupational. We don't have occupational environment, but we have physical environment. D says physical and social. These are the two types of environment we deal with in social studies. We don't talk about religious and political can be likened to the social environment. They are under the social environment. So the answer is D. Social studies was introduced to help the society dash the dangers of the environment. Let's look at E. To be subjected. It can be teaching you to be subjected, meaning that it expects that you must, be a victim of the environment. No. Stabilize from the environment. No. It teaches you how to distinguish between the changes in the environment. It teaches you, it does not do that. It does not teach you how to manipulate, rather to adapt to the changing environment. Social studies teaches you about environment that is dynamic so that you can adapt to it. Now, the first agent of socialization for the child. Remember, socialization has to do with interaction and learning, from which attitudes, values are formed in order to adapt to the environment. Now, all these options are agents of socialization, but one option is the first agent. Church is not the first agent because it's not where the child met himself first. It's not clan. Clan is part of it, but it's not where the child met himself, but rather it's the family. The child met himself in the family first. It's not mosque. The child goes to mosque for moral orientation, but it's not where the child learns socialization first. It's not school. The child goes to school, but the child was first in the family before any other place. So the first agent is the family. The movement, question number 4, the movement of people and goods from one place to another is not migration. Yes, migration means people moving to a particular place. It's not mobilization. To mobilize people, bring people together. Even you can bring this together. It's not retrogression that is going backwards. It's not transmission. You're not transmitting. But it's rather, this is what we call transportation. It's under your JS2 Social Studies third time where we taught you transportation. The movement of people and goods from one place to another is transportation. Cultural diversity, question number 5. Cultural diversity illustrates the dash of groups within our society. It's not division. Division connotes negativity. So it's not division. Yes, we are divided into but it's not division. Division connotes negativity. It is not homogeneity. Homogeneity is the fact that we are talking about cultural homogeneity. That is one kind of people, one tribe or one ethnic group. It's not, or one culture. Spontaneity is not what we are talking about here, meaning that everything comes up at once. Uniformity is not what we are talking about here. When you talk about cultural diversity, it denotes heterogeneity. Heterogeneity means diversity of groups. The traditional title, Igwe, is most prominent in Dutch ethnic groups in Nigeria. Now, Ibibio calls a traditional title, that is king. Ibibio calls Obong. Ijo calls Bere. Isekri calls Olu. Urobo calls Ovie. Igbo is the one that calls Igbe or Exe. So Igbo is the answer. Which of the following sets of physical environment is man-made? Let's start from option E. Rainfall and vegetation, they are not man-made. They are natural environment. Yes, people can plant crops. They are not man-made. Mountains and valleys, they are not. They are man-made. They are natural environment. Highlands and lowlands, we made it like that. They are not. They are not man-made. Deserts and forests, they are natural environment. The buildings and the roads is man that constructed them. So it is man-made. The officer charged with the control of vehicular movement, that's question number 8, is that who is charged with the control of vehicular movement? Is it area warden? No. Is it civil defense officer? No. Is it correctional officer in the prison? No. Is it police escort that is moving around? No. It's what we call traffic warden. The traffic warden is the officer charged with the control of vehicular movement. Now, the underlisted are positive group behavior, except positive one. Communal labor is when the members of the community work together, for the welfare of the community, either sanitation or the rest. So it's positive. Community policing is positive, like vigilante group. Display of patriotism, of course, is positive, showing love for your country. Mob action is negative. That's the answer. Protest march is positive. In every democratic society, you expect the civil society to embark on protest march to protest policies of government. Now, but mob action, that is when a group of people come up spontaneously, carry out activity which is usually negative. At times, in most cases, it's usually a question of somebody was caught stealing and no trial is made. A group of people came together, beat the person, burn the person. That is what we call mob action. It's an example of a mob action. So it's a negative group behavior. So that is why D is the answer. Number 10, a barrier that stops the flow of surface water. It is not bridge. Remember, bridge is built in order to be able to pass through water. When there is water and people must pass through the water using either boats or this, in order to use vehicle, a bridge has to be built. So it's not built on surface of the water, but rather it's dam that is constructed to stop the flow of water, surface water. Pillar is not. We know what pillar is in a building. Ridge, of course, ridge is usually found in the farm. It's not a wall that you see in buildings. So dam is the answer. Now the next question says, the members of a peer group or peer groups are usually, their members, are they usually students? Not only students constitute peer groups. Are they usually spouses, that's husbands and wives? They are not always husband and wife. Are they usually partners? But rather, they are usually friends. When you talk about one's peer group, we're talking about one's friends, peer mates, playmates. So age does not matter. I may be 15 years. My friend may be 25 years, 10 years difference. But the person is still my peer group. A son to one's uncle is a brother? No, your brother is your sibling. Is a cousin? Yes. Your uncle's child, whether son or daughter, is your cousin. Nephew is the son of your sibling. Niece is the daughter of your sibling. Sibling is somebody that the same parent, somebody from the same parent with you. Family standard of living is mostly affected by which of the following affect the family standard of living? Is it education? No, of course, it improves the standard of living. Is it ethnicity? That's nothing to do with family standard of living. Is it inequality? No, it does not. It's not about family standard of living. But poverty will reduce the standard of living. It will bring it down. Example, if a family of 8 used to cook 15 cups of rice and due to poverty, they may resort to 5 cups of rice. They may not go to the best schools. Of course, they will go to schools where they pay virtually nothing and the services, educational services are poor. So it's poverty that will affect it. Now, this question says a social unit consists of a man, his wife, and his children. Remember, we say, father, mother, children, makes a family. Father, mother, children, makes a family. So, it's family. Community is not community, it's not district, it's not a district, it's not town, it's not village, rather it's family. Which of the following describes a relationship through the father's side? Fatherhood is quality of being a father. Kinship is relations both from father and mother side. Matrilineal is relationship from mother's side. Matrimonial is marriage, about marriage. Patrilineal is kinship and relationship from the father's side. That is why your uncle, an uncle is either patrilineal uncle or matrilineal uncle. The main purpose of marriage is for A, cohabitation, that's to cohabit, live together, is a purpose. Companionship is a purpose. Procreation is a purpose, that's children. Social control is a purpose. Wealth creation is a purpose, but the main purpose is procreation. Population in the society grows through what increases the population of a society. Is it adoption? No. Is it age group? No, of course. Is it birth? Of course, birth increases the population. Population growth is by having more birth. Is it immigration? Immigration, going out of the country, will reduce the population rather. Is it marriage? Marriage will not necessarily bring about population. Is birth itself. Which of the following is a material aspect of culture? This question tests your knowledge on culture. Remember, we have two types of culture: material culture and the non-material culture. Now, the material culture are those ones you can touch and feel, the physical things that can be touched, that can be felt with your hands. So, belief is not a material culture. You don't see the belief, what people believe in. You don't see language, you can't touch it. You don't see religion. Yes, you can see physical building or physical place symbolizing a particular religion, but religion itself, you don't see it. Values, we know about them, but we don't feel them. But crafts of people, those things people make, you can see it. That is the material culture. Culture is said to be dashed because it changes. Is it universal? Universal means that culture is everywhere. Culture is not static. Rather, it's the opposite. Yes, culture is shared. It's one of the features of culture, that culture is shared. That is, a culture here can be transferred to another culture. Then, is it homogeneous? Culture is not really homogeneous. Rather, when you say culture changes, it means that culture is dynamic in nature. Dynamic means it's subject to changes. This question says, which of the following factors is necessary for a successful marriage? Let's start from E. Wealth. Wealth is not a factor for a successful marriage. At times, it can even destroy in rare cases. At times, you see a wedding man will not have time for the wife and the family. Unfaithfulness. Of course, it leads to divorce, it leads to breakdown of marriage. Intelligence. Of course, it's not really necessary for successful marriage because if you have a couple where one is intelligent, the one that is intelligent at times may not be patient, even may not seek the opinion of the one that is intelligent. So at times it can even make a marriage not successful. Impatience, of course, will make a marriage not successful, but affection, love, is a condition necessary for a successful marriage. The main services provided by the family we're talking about services. Is this security and defense is not the main service. Though family provides security for the members of the family, especially the father. Maintenance of law and order, of course, that's for a law enforcement agency. A primary security and defense from law enforcement agencies. Health services, the government does that, but it's not the main service. The family does that, provide health services, that send the children to hospital. It's not the main. Food and clothing. Remember, we're talking about services. Food and clothing, they are goods, they are tangible things, but education, that's servicing and growth of the children. The main services provided by the family. Number 22, the interaction process through which an individual acquires societal value. The interaction process. Is it assimilation? That's to internalize particular value. Assimilation is not what we are talking about here. Documentation, that's put in documents, is not what we're talking about. Inculcate in somebody a particular value is not what we are talking about. Indoctrination, all these are related, but they are not what we're talking about. But it's socialization. In socialization, you make one to assimilate, you inculcate, you indoctrinate in socialization. And the essence of socialization is to acquire societal values. So socialization is the correct option. The most popular food among the Yoruba people is akpu. That's akpu is found in Igbo. Fura, the North, they consume fura. Oba, Igbo, especially, in fact, Igbo. Tuwo, you see it in the North. But the ones that Yorubas are very much known for is amala and ewedu. Which of the following acts leads to social instability? Which of the following facts leads to social instability? Is it diligence? Of course, diligence, hard work, determination. It can lead to societal instability, disturbances. Equity, that's treating everybody equally, cannot lead to societal, rather can lead to societal stability. Fairness will lead to societal stability, not instability. Honesty, which is E, will lead to societal stability. Honesty at every circle or level can lead to societal stability. But you see favoritism, when you favor a particular group, when you single out a particular group to favor, it can lead to societal instability. Which of the following is a benefit of peer groups? What people gain from peer groups? Is it E, promotes political aspiration? It's not really the benefit. D, promotes peace and orderliness. Peer group does not necessarily promote peace and orderliness in the society. Mobilizes touts and hooligans. This is negative. We're talking about benefits. lays foundation for acquisition of skills. People don't actually acquire more skills from their peers, but it helps individuals acquire societal values. You will learn sources of values. When you are taught sources of values, of course, peer group is one of the agents of these values. The consumption and abuse of stimulants leads to, is it intelligence? It will not make you intelligent. Is it lucidity? That is being clear to understand? No. It can make one restless, of course. It can make one sane. It can promote wellness of an individual. Social studies comprises the following subjects except now subjects related scope of social studies. That's what they're testing your knowledge on. Subject related to social studies. Economics is related to social studies. We do some of the things you see in economics, you see in social studies. Remember in GS3, we talk about economic institutions. Is it geography? Of course. When you talk about physical environment, you are going to geography. Is it government? We talk about government in social studies. We also talk about history, social studies, but we don't talk about mathematics. We don't solve any equation. We don't look for X in social studies. Number 28, which of the following is a disease prevention strategy? That's prevention. Is it diagnosis? That is to determine, diagnosis is about determining the disease that is disturbing somebody or that is causing illness. Let's see, prescription. Prescription is all about treatment, prescribing the drugs that should be taken to treat. Is it prognosis? That is medical projection of future cause of a particular disease. Is it stigmatization, discrimination of a person because of one thing or the other? But it's immunization. When children are born, they are immunized, and that immunization is to prevent certain diseases. The extended family includes, remember, the nuclear family is about father, mother, and children. Children, sons, and daughters. So these three persons make up the family, nuclear family. So anyone outside this is part of the extended family. Daughter, part of children, that is nuclear. Father, nuclear. Mother, nuclear. Says son, nuclear. But nephew, the son of your one sibling, is what is an extended, part of extended family. Which of the following is non-material aspect of culture? We have talked about material culture. Non-material culture refers to those cultural aspects that we cannot see, touch, or feel physically. Of course, if you look at E, house is a material culture. You can touch house, see it. Home is a material culture. We use it to cultivate. We can touch it. Food is a material culture. You eat your food, you must take it. You must use spoon to scoop it. Clothes, it's a material culture. You wear your clothing. But you see, belief is a non-material culture. We can't see it. We hear about it, we talk about it, but we don't see it. Number 31, the payment made in exchange for wife is it alimony? Alimony is the payment court orders, mostly a man, in a case of divorce, to pay to the divorced wife for the upkeep of the children. So when a man divorces a woman, now the court will say, okay, you'll be paying to this woman for the upkeep of the children, let's say 100,000 every month. So that is alimony. That money paid is alms, is the money you give to help people. Payment in exchange for wife is what we call dowry. Pay a woman's dowry. It's not a gift, what you die somebody. It's not a levy. that must be paid to carry out a particular task. So dowry C is the answer. Number 32, premarital sex can be discouraged through. Premarital sex is sex before marriage. That takes place before marriage. So taking people that are not married having sex, the one we call premarital, before marriage. Now, how can we discourage it? Is it being a bachelor? No. A bachelor can encourage that. Family planning cannot discourage premarital sex. Of course, keeping multiple partners, that one will promote premarital sex. Promoting early marriage, it will try early marriage, but will not prevent. But when you give sex education to people, you also teach them about the consequences of premarital marriage. So it will go a long way to discourage premarital sex. The leading cause of divorce in our society is what? What's the leading cause of divorce? Is it high poverty rate? It's not a leading cause. Some couples are happy even in their poverty, even at times happier than even the ones that are rich. High rate of literacy. High rate of literacy cannot cause divorce. Some couples are illiterate and they are happy. Pressure from work. At times it can affect marriage, especially when the work makes a spouse to neglect his or her function and attention in the marriage, but not a leading cause. Traditional culture is not a leading cause, but unfaithfulness in marriage, that is having another partner outside your spouse, can actually lead to divorce, and is the leading cause of divorce in our society today. Question number 34. Which aspect is most important when planning a traditional marriage? Traditional, that's marriage based on cultures and tradition. Church recitals, you don't put it into, you're not doing it in the church. It's in the compound of the wife. Let's see, exchange of rings. There is no exchange of rings in traditional marriage. Is it medical examination? There is no medical examination in traditional marriage. Signing on marriage register, we don't do that in traditional marriage. But elders, the parents and elders of the woman to be married, they offer their blessing during traditional marriage. So it's an important aspect of traditional marriage. Readiness for marriage leads to dash between couples. That's being prepared financially, economically, socially, psychologically before going into marriage. It leads to, is it constant? No, it does not lead to constant quarrel. It prevents constant quarrel. Is it emotional abuse? It prevents emotional. We can't talk about. It does not lead to emotional abuse. Extramarital affairs. Of course, it can lead to extramarital affairs. Improper parenthood, it won't lead to it. But when people are ready for marriage before going into it, it can lead to mutual understanding between the couple. The institution, question number 36. The institution where skills and knowledge are acquired to function effectively in the society is not home. You can get knowledge, moral knowledge, it's not home. You can get moral knowledge from home, but we are not talking about homes. Home will not offer you the skills you need to function effectively. It's not in the hostel. Hostel is where students stay in the school, and the hostel is about go and relax and rest. It's not in a hotel where people relax. It's not in a market where buying and selling take place. Rather, it is in school. What is described? School is a formal institution where skills and knowledge are acquired. To be faithful, loyal, and honest is a phrase from where? It's not Act of Parliament. It's not a national anthem, Arise O Come Patriot. It's not national constitution. Rather, it's national pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. So you see, we're there to be faithful, loyal, and honest. It's a phrase from the national pledge, not penal code. Which of the following substances is legal in Nigeria? Marijuana, Igbo, is not legal, it's illegal. Codeine is another prohibited drug. Cocaine is a prohibited drug. Carcinogens, prohibited. But caffeine, the drugs that you see in coffee and tea, of course, they're stimulants, but it's legal in Nigeria. That is why people take coffee. Which of the following drugs is commonly abused? Now, according to Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, among the drugs they listed that are commonly abused, amphetamines are part of it. Marijuana, they are part of them. It's not antibiotics, aspirin, Panadol, and vitamins. Which of the following social problem is alien in Nigeria? That is, we don't see it in Nigeria. It's strange. We have child labor. No, we have it. Poverty. Hey, we have it very well here. Substance abuse. Of course, a problem. Why do we have Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency? Unemployment, of course, is here very well. But racism is strange because we have the same race in Nigeria, so we don't discriminate based on racism. But if we say, of course, we don't discriminate based on racism or based on race. Question number 41. Absence of peace leads to dash. When there is no peace, what will happen? Is it growth? No. Is it harmony? No. Is it pandemic? No. Is it underdevelopment yet? Yes. Absence of peace can lead to underdevelopment of a country. Of course, absence of peace means there is conflict and war. And this brings about underdevelopment. Absence of peace, of course, cannot lead to unity. Which of the following, question number 42, which of the following is a psychological effect of drug abuse? I'm talking about psychological, not physical. If you look at the options, E, tumor is a physical thing. If there is tumor, they remove it through operation. Starvation is physical. Having sores is physical. Cancer is a physical thing on the body, but insanity is psychological, it's a mental issue. So insanity is the psychological effect of drug abuse among all these options. Making children hawk on the street is referred to. That is making children to carry something and be selling, especially when the school is on. It's not a socialization process. Remember, this is a negative thing. It's not parental responsibility. It's not drug abuse. It's not child's right. It's not their child or their right to hawk. But rather, it's what we call child abuse. Next question. Which of the following breeds disharmony in the society? That's disunity. And then when you have economic development, of course, that one will bring harmony in the society. And when you have equal opportunities. And when you have ethnic rivalry, of course. Ethnic rivalry will bring disharmony in society. Equal opportunity will not bring disharmony. Loyalty to the country, of course, it will promote harmony. Political opinions can promote harmony, but ethnic rivalry or destroying the society. That's conflict between ethnic groups. A wealthy society attracts what? It does not attract chaos. It attracts development, rather. It does not attract division. It does not attract legitimacy or morality. It's more about development. Proper administration of social justice in our society leads to, is it vote by? No, it does not lead to. Unequal wealth distribution? No. Is it instability? No. Is it ethnicity rivalry? No. But proper administration of justice brings equal opportunity. It leads to equal opportunity to everybody, that both the rich and the poor can get the same justice in the law court when they go there. 47, societal conflicts can be escalated through arbitration involving a third party to make rulings on a conflict that will be binding on the warring parties. Of course, it cannot escalate, rather it will reduce. It's a way of resolving conflict. Compromise among the parties can be a way to resolve conflict when one party has to sacrifice just for peace to reign. Dialogue is a way of resolving conflict. Mediation is also related to arbitration, but this one involves a third party that will advise. But war, hey, it escalates conflict. Talk about world wars. The bad habit of self-medication can lead to drug. Is it trafficking? No. Regulation? No. Is it manufacture? No. Is it administration? Rather, self-medication can lead to drug abuse very well. Social instability can be avoided if society, is it shows fairness to all? Of course. It's shown fairness to all. Is it encourages tribalism? It will bring about instability. The society avoids crime to promote stability. Is it avoid corruption? Can promote, but the best to promote instability is obey rules and regulations. When we obey rules and regulations, there will be lack of instability. The legal act of joining a couple in matrimony, of course, joining a couple, husband, man and woman, as husband and wife, that is matrimony, is marriage. It's not fellowship. It's not engagement. Engagement comes before you do this. It's not courtship. Courtship, that is the period where a man and woman try to understand themselves before marriage. Is it cohabitation, living together? No, it's marriage. Unpaid voluntary work to support people in a particular area is what? Is it A, age grade character celebration? Is not the unpaid voluntary work. Is it civil service? Civil service, there are government workers under the ministries responsible for implementing government policies and programs. Of course, they are paid for their services. Is it community service? Yes, this is paid voluntary work to support people in a particular area. That is community service. It's not political campaigns. It's not also religious activities. Which of the following is an obstacle to fighting courtesan in our society? That is what has made courtesan to endure despite all effort put in place. Self-reliance is not an obstacle. Self-discipline is not an obstacle to fighting courtesan. Responsible parenthood is not an obstacle. Celebrating court's achievements by the people. We encourage more people to join courts when the achievements are being celebrated. But adhering to regulations, of course, not an obstacle. Which of the following are forms of examination? The following are forms of examination malpractices, except question number 53. Assaulting, which one is not? Assaulting a supervisor is malpractice. Bringing in electronic gadgets is malpractice. And copying from fellow students is malpractice. Impersonation of candidates, that is somebody coming to write for another person, is malpractice. But clarifying questions by invigilators is not malpractice, especially like when people are writing practicals. The ideals of peace is threatened by, is it insecurity? Is it mutual respect? So if you look at option E, tolerance does not threaten peace. Socialization, of course, it will help to promote peace. Social justice promotes peace. Mutual respect promotes peace. But insecurity threatens peace. Which of the following religious practices is alien to Nigeria, that is strange, foreign? Yes, occultism, we see it, is in Nigeria, though secret. Islam is a popular religion in Nigeria. Idolatry is a religion in Nigeria. Christianity is a popular religion in Nigeria, but Buddhism is not popular in Nigeria. It's alien, it's a Chinese religion. You find it in China. The following are aims of establishing federal road safety corps, except A, remember they say except. So others should be their aims or their rules, but one is not. A, apprehending traffic offenders, they do that, is their rule to arrest them. Inculcating highway codes is their role, to inculcate highway codes. Organizing workshop and public enlightenment, to enlighten people on the need to use the roads in a safe way, of course, is their role. E, propagating safety ideals, is their role to propagate safety ideals. But prioritizing accident victims based on their tribe is not their role. Is not the aim of establishing them. Yes, they can help accident victims, but it's not prioritizing based on tribe. Remember, the red traffic light indicates dash. Remember, in traffic light, we have 3 lights. We have the red, stop, amber, or yellow, get ready. The other one, green, go. So the red is stop, from what I explained, and you must have seen that. A situation where a woman has more than one husband. Remember, we have forms of marriage. We have a polygamy and monogamy. Monogamy is a form of marriage involving only 2 couples. Polygamy is a form of marriage involving more than 2 couples. Polygamy is divided into 2. We have polygyny. That's a form of polygamy where a man has more than 1 wife. We have polyandry, a type of marriage where a woman has more than 1 husband. So if you look at it, polygyny is not the answer. Polygamy is not the answer. That's specific answer. But polyandry, which is a form of polygamy where a woman marries more than 1 wife, 1 husband, is the answer. Monogamy, of course, is not the answer. Bigamy is not the answer. Bigamy is a crime. Which of the following association disrupts socialization processes in the school? That affects learning in the school. Is it Red Cross? No, Red Cross does not affect learning. Is it press club? No. Is it man o' war? No. Is it Boy Scouts? No. It's called groups that actually have the activities affect learning, that socialization process in the school. Number 60. The most important function of a religious organization is to. That's the most important function of a religious organization is to. Is it conduct burial ceremonies? It's not their most important function. Is it to identify criminals? They are not law enforcement agents. Is it to introduce social ideology? It's not their role. But their most important function is mold behavior and character. It is not to produce religious teachers, but to mold behavior of people and their character. Thank you for joining me in this section. I wish you good luck in your examination. Thank you.